Everyone, my name is Rayne, and this is a brief intro to the Rastafari religion. Let's begin. What is the Rastafari religion, and what is its history? The Rastafari religion was first based in the political and spiritual convergence of other cultures and religions that were centered in Jamaica. During this time, it was the time of revivalism and the rise of African and European Christianity that formed the ideals for, or the ideal basis for, the Rastafari movement and religion. This was during the 1930s, where wandering preachers were popular, and of that time, they were strongly against their colonial government, which was being ruled by Britain at the time, and they declared that Christ had reappeared in the soul of Emperor Haile Selassie, who was the crown emperor of Ethiopia. They foresaw that he was the Messiah, and that he would bring an end to white domination not only in Africa, but around the world. And this is a monotheistic religion, believing in only Jah, and who is God, and they also hold a sense of Ethiopianism within their movement and beliefs. Now let's dive into some of the important leaders. We have Marcus Garvey, who's the top left photo, and he was a known prophet, known for his emphasis on black pride, repatriation, and self-reliance, and those have become symbols in the Rastafari religion and faith. And he was known to have had the prophecy that there would be liberation after crowning an African king, which led the people of the religion to believe that Emperor Haile was the Messiah. And then we have Leonard Percival Howell and Robert Hines. Leonard is pictured there in the middle, but Robert is not. And they worked together to preach the Rastafari movement no matter at what costs, and this got them arrested for speaking about their religion, speaking out against white people, and speaking on black pride. And not a lot of people found it peaceful, and authorities had them arrested several times for preaching about their religion. But they are known for creating missions called the King of Kings and the Ethiopian Salvation Society, which both were successful for a time. Ultimately, the King of Kings shut down, but both of them tried to spread their message as much as possible. And then Then we have Henry Archibald Dunkley. He was known for scouring the Bible to judge for himself whether or not the emperor was truly the Messiah, and he found that he was through Revelations 2-5 and 19:16. And this is where we get the nickname for Emperor Haile Selassie, King of Kings, or the Lion of Zion, several names that would later follow him down the road. And lastly, we have Joseph Nathaniel Hibbert, who was another spreader for the word spreader for the Rastafari religion, specifically in St. Andrew and Kingston after he arrived to Jamaica. And he is pictured on this bottom left. I apologize if we're moving fast. I don't have a lot of time to delve into much. But over here we have Emperor Haile Selassie, the known Messiah. And down below we have some more important leaders. They were known for spreading the word of the Rastafari religion, specifically in England during the time period after World War II. What are some of the Rastafari beliefs? As said before, they are a monotheistic religion, believing in a single God called Jah. They do believe in the Trinity, similar to Christianity, but Jah is their god, and Emperor Haile Selassie, to some, I won't say all, was considered the second coming of Christ as the Messiah. And they also believe in Ethiopianism, which symbolized and emulated black pride, black intellect, and the coming of a better future for Africans during this time. And they specifically believed, going a little bit further, that Emperor Haile Selassie was to be the second coming of Christ and Jah incarnate, and one of his renowned titles, thanks to Marcus Garvey, if I got that correct again, as the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, and elect of God. His crowning gave some Jamaicans the hope of black liberation from the British, but ultimately it was up in the air. But in the Rastafari religion, it was believed that he would save them from discrimination and white domination. Continuing on, we're going to talk about some of the practices and traditions which often have led to the stereotypes we see today, with smoking weed. But smoking ganja is something that is important not only as a practice, it has become a sacred tradition, as it's seen as compared to the wine and the bread of Christianity. It's supposed to induce feelings of love and fellowship, and it's also supposed to create a communal togetherness. Another tradition they have is growing and maintaining dreadlocks and sometimes beards for very amounts of time. They tie this with the belief of Ini, which is, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, which is the connection, or gets them connected consciously and personally with Jah and Jah's power through their dreadlocks. And another practice and tradition that they focus on is maintaining livity, which is living naturally and not using produced or manufactured items, and instead using things like herbs and berries to make medicine and heal illnesses. And they also practice the tradition of keeping the native language and using that as a visual for storytelling and passing along words and keeping their religion alive, but also their culture alive. And the last practice I would like to go over is the submission within women and culture. Although it's mainly men in the Rastafari movement, we do have some women who did partake in this religion and even smoked ganja with the men, although it has been almost a rule that they can't, and women are supposed to submit to their husbands, take care of their husbands, are supposed to kind of be on the back burner. And in the book, women of the Rastafari religion were also compared similarly to the women of the Islam religion, due to many commonalities between the control and submission of women during their lives. And fun fact, Bob Marley was a Rastafarian. This is my source, the book, of course. Thank you for listening.